Yes guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode number 7 of our EAFC 26 career mode here with West Ham United. Hope you are all doing well and hope you are all enjoying the series so far. I've got some really good support on it so far, so I just want to say at the start, if you do want to obviously keep on following the journey and support myself, please do subscribe to the channel to show that support. But we jump straight into this episode with the first game of the episode, and it is against top of the table Aston Villa. Aston Villa still unbeaten this season, surprisingly. So we knew it was going to be a really difficult game, and it was going to be that. To be fair, if you watch this game, it was a tough game for us. And we started obviously the game in a decent way, and we did get a corner just 3 minutes into the game. And it's James Ward-Prowse looking to whip that one in from that right hand side. The ball comes into the defence midfielder Magassa, decent header to be fair, but a good save from Emi Martinez, one of the best in the world. So we knew we were going to have to do something special to beat him in this game. And then from the following corner, it's Todibo this time who gets the header, but unfortunately he couldn't get it on target, and the ball did go out for a goal kick. And then just a couple minutes later, we actually got a really good break here. Paqueta plays it into Jarrod Bowen. Jarrod Bowen looks like he's through on goal. Konsa doesn't make any contact with him. Bowen gets a good shot, but once again, it's that man, Emi Martinez, outstretches an arm and tips the ball out for another corner for us. And we were actually causing some real problems for this Villa side with our set pieces. Ward-Prowse once again in. This time it didn't come to anything directly from the corner, but the ball comes back out, recycle back out to Ward-Prowse. Back in, it's Jarrod Bowen this time with a good header, but straight at Emi Martinez, and it just sort of hits him and goes out for another corner for us. So this is going to be our fourth corner of a game. We've caused problems with the three so far, and with this one once again is El Hadji Malik Diouf gets a header, unfortunately couldn't do anything with it. Again it gets recycled back out to Ward-Prowse, into Todibo, into Somerville gets a good shot with his left foot, but unfortunately Emi Martinez was there once again, stretches his arm out once again and tips it behind for a fifth corner. And then the fifth corner of a game, Jarrod Bowen gets a header, Magassa from close range, but Emi Martinez once again keeps that one out the back of the net and it comes to nothing. So Emi Martinez really keeping Aston Villa in this game. But unfortunately Aston Villa then started to hit their stride. Good ball in from the left hand side from Luca Dean, and it was Ollie Watkins in there, free of space in between the two defenders, and he on the volley just managed to steer it past the goalkeeper Hermansen and get his first goal of the game and his 10th goal of the season. So obviously some really good form, and obviously with Aston Villa top of the league, that is no surprise that Ollie Watkins is in good form, and he gets another chance here. Good shot again, nice powerful shot with his right foot, but it's Hermansen keeping ball out back of the net. And then we get a chance just before half time. Jarrod Bowen, really good touch to be fair on that left foot of his, but unfortunately takes it a little bit too close to Emi Martinez, and he manages to make the save. And then just before half time, last few seconds of the game, Kamara picks the ball up, plays into Pau Torres, a good shot from Pau Torres there, but Hermansen once again there to tip that ball out behind for another corner for Aston Villa. Sancho obviously on loan from Manchester United swings it in. Ollie Watkins couldn't quite win the header. It falls into Torres once again, but fortunately this time it goes well wide and over, and the scores did stay at 1-0 going into half time. But then starting the second half, Aston Villa got off to a really good start. A good shot there from Ollie Watkins, saved by Hermansen and tipped round the post for another corner. Game full of corners really this one. And then just after that we did get a really good chance here. Callum Wilson could have played it across to Bowen there, went for the shot himself, but unfortunately couldn't quite steer it in, and it was saved by the goalkeeper Emi Martinez. And we did get another chance. This time it's Wilson once again, really good opportunity, but unfortunately couldn't quite steer it on target and just put it wide of the post. And then about 20 minutes left of the game, Morgan Rogers swings one in, comes into Onana, gets the second shot after his header didn't quite manage to do anything, but fortunately put wide of the post, and the score stayed at 1-0. We made a couple of changes, Somerville and Magassa coming off for Kyle Walker-Peters and Matheus Fernandes, just trying to freshen things up. We're still only 1-0 down, still an opportunity for us to come back in this one, but unfortunately that 1-0 turned to 2-0 fairly soon after that, with Boubacar Kamara, the midfielder for Aston Villa, smashing that one in past Hermansen to give Aston Villa a 2-0 lead with just 15 minutes left of the game. As we say, they're top of the league, so we knew it was going to be a difficult one to come back from to get anything from this game. And at 2-0, yeah, the game was fairly out of reach. I mean, in the last couple of seconds, it was Ollie Watkins once again, good shot on the turn with his left foot, saved by Hermansen around the post for a corner kick. And the corner coming in from their new boy Memphis Depay, of all people who plays for Aston Villa at a minute. Memphis Depay swung it in, couldn't get to anything, falls to Onana once again, but once again Hermansen's there to keep that ball out back of the net. And then the final act of the game, another one of their new boys, Gesson plays the ball in, Onana gets a header, smashes it against crossbar, and then unfortunately for him couldn't do anything with the second header and it's straight down. But we wanted to look at the transfers. We mentioned obviously looking at some attacking midfielders and strikers from our scouts, and we've got a few reports back, and this is our current shortlist. We've got Ben White as a defender possibly, Jorginho Ruta, Almada, Jesus, Romelu Lukaku and Cucho as our players. So let me know in the comments below who you think we should look to sign, whether any of those would fit the bill or whether there's anyone else we should be looking at. Ben White's not option. Now we've gone to three at the back. He obviously can play right back, he can play centre back, he can even play defensive midfield if we want him to. But he's an option in defence just to solidify that. Midfielders, to be fair, we were looking at the attacking midfielders in that 4-2-2-2 with a bit more pace, but in the current formation we don't necessarily need them. And then in terms of attack, alongside Jarrod Bowen, we just want someone who can really score goals and be reliable. Lukaku is probably my favourite option at the minute. I know he's a little bit older and he's not going to get any better, but he's a prolific goal scorer. We know we can rely on him. But obviously Cucho, Jesus is an option as well. Obviously can play attacking midfield as well. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And like I said, if there's any other suggestions you would make for me to sign in the January transfer window, or at least have a look at, please let me know. But we go into the second game of the episode and it wasn't going to get any easier. We just lost 2-0 against top of the table Aston Villa, and we come up against second place in the table, Manchester City, away from home at a snowy Etihad. And Manchester City took a really early lead, should I say, through to Johnny Reinders, but we actually managed to get a goal back straight away from kickoff. Ball falls its way to Callum Wilson, steers it into that bottom corner past venue goalkeeper Donnarumma, and it makes the scores 1-1. So as soon as we conceded, straight from kickoff we come back and we score the goal. And it's that man Callum Wilson. We know he's not the greatest player in the world, but to be fair to him, he's actually played really well and we've needed him. He's come up with a few decent goals for us and kept us in games, to be fair. So he must know obviously we're looking at a potential new striker, and he obviously wants to up his game and get him the goal. So fair play to him for scoring that goal. And then to be honest, we got a fair couple of good opportunities. It was Somerville with the initial opportunity, which was tipped around the post by Donnarumma, and then from the resulting corner the ball gets swung in. It's Thomas Souček there using his height and using his power, but unfortunately couldn't steer that one on target, and the ball did go behind for a goal kick. But it's Callum Wilson once again, 17 minutes into the game, plays into Bowen. Bowen gets it onto his left foot, but struggling to really get away from a defender, couldn't quite get the power of a direction of a shot, and easily picked up by Donnarumma. And then just 5 minutes later, Man City get another chance here. Phil Foden beats Mavropanos easily, gets the shot away, but a good save, made himself Big Hermansen, and it just deflects off him for a corner kick, which the man Phil Foden will swing in himself with that left foot of his, falls to Ruben Diaz, good header, but a good save from Hermansen to hold on to that one and keep the scores at 1-1. And then just before half-time, Manchester City pick up the ball here as Haaland gets the ball into Doku. Doku from point-blank range gets the shot away, but once again Hermansen was there, stood tall and kept the ball out back of it. And to be fair, since Hermansen has come into the team again, he has played really well and he is keeping Areola out of the team at the minute. But unfortunately, he couldn't keep that just one goal conceded for too long, and it was Phil Foden who scores his second goal of the game. No, his first goal of the game, sorry. Reinders scored the first one, and it put Manchester City 2-1 up. And then at that point, Manchester City's really started pushing. Haaland with a good header, but fortunately wide of a post. But we did get another opportunity ourselves. Paqueta with a little flick into Somerville. Somerville looks to play the ball in. It's Jarrod Bowen, really close range with that header, but unfortunately couldn't quite steer it on target, and it goes behind for a goal kick. But then we did get another opportunity. Bowen, really good ball through to Paqueta, and it's that man Paqueta, linked with moves to Manchester City in the past, and he fires it in with that left foot of his. Never seen him do a backflip, to be fair, so fair play to him if he's been hiding that on his locker. But he puts us into a 2-2 position, standing ovation from Areola, and then with that 2-2 we decided to make a few substitutions. Fulkrug coming on, Magassa coming on. So just a few changes just to obviously try and inject some energy and keep this 2-2 draw. But Manchester City really start pushing on once again. We know the quality they've got and we know they could cause us problems. So Phil Foden gets the shot, good save from Hermansen, tip behind for a corner kick for Manchester City. And then once again it's Phil Foden looking to swing one out with that left foot of his. Falls into Rodri. Rodri gets header, can't quite do anything with it. Falls into Marmoush. Marmoush looks to turn, gets it back to Matheus Nunes. Nunes skips away from the defender down that right hand side, flicks one in towards Haaland. Haaland couldn't quite get the header, falls in the end to Foden into Marmoush, and then a poor shot from Marmoush from the edge of the box does go over the top of the crossbar. And then with 10 minutes left, Phil Foden's there, and it's Phil Foden who picks the ball up and whacks one on the volley. Keeps it down low, fair play to him, and he puts it in the back of the net, celebrates with a mascot, and puts Manchester City back in the lead at 3-2. And at this point, our heads really dropped, and just a couple of minutes later, we did go 4-2 down. It was Marmoush, good ball through from Haaland, and Marmoush once again keeps it low, puts it between the legs of Hermansen in our goal, and makes the scores 4-2 with just 5 minutes left against Man City. We knew we weren't coming back from that, and it was Manchester City who actually had one of the last opportunities of the game. It's Haaland. You would have put money on Haaland to score that one, but fortunately for us he just put it wide of a post, and it was actually a decent fingertip save from Hermansen to keep it out. And then from a resulting corner, Rodri swings it in. Haaland there once again, good header, kept off the line by Wan-Bissaka, and then luckily we managed to get it clear. And then just before half time, Good opportunity from Fulkrug with a header, but straight at Donnarumma, and the scores do stay at 4-2. And then we come off back of that with an international management offer once again from Ukraine men's national team. But as mentioned before, we're not looking at international management yet, so we do reject the offer straight away. And then we do get a message from Igor Julio saying that he's been playing very well lately, he's feeling good, and he wants to play against Fulham. So we say to him, we haven't worked out a team yet, but we'll see what we can do. And we do decide to start him in that 3-back formation against Fulham at home. Another London rivalry. A few changes in there. We've got Wilson up front once again after his goal against Manchester City. As I say, we've got Igor Julio starting as well. So against Fulham, again, not an easy team to play against, but a bit of a respite after playing the top 2 in the league in the last 2 games, and hopefully we can get a decent result here. We know results haven't been strong for us throughout the course of this season. Obviously we're nearing the halfway point in the season, so hopefully we can start turning things around. We've maybe settled on a formation that we want to stick with going forward with this 3-back as well, so hopefully we can do something in this game and hopefully pick up all 3 points, or at least a point as a minimum. But first opportunity is not until around about 20 minutes in. Diouf with the ball in, good header from that man Callum Wilson, but unfortunately couldn't get any direction on it, and saved by Bernd Leno in the Fulham goal. And then we get another opportunity here. Somerville plays the ball in, diving header from Bowen, gets above both defenders, and again it's Leno who's there and keeps the ball out the back of the net. But just 10 minutes before half time, the best opportunity of the game so far. Paqueta plays it in, Bowen manages to hold off Calvin Bassey, but again, like he did in the last game, he took it a little, or like he did in the game against Villa, should I say, took it a little bit too far, and the keeper managed to keep hold of it, and the score stayed at 0-0. And then just before half time, a good shot there, but unfortunately for us, Hermansen once again was there, strong hands, and kept the ball out back of the net to keep us at 0-0 going into half time. So we obviously wanted to build on that going into the second half, and it's Somerville who gets the opportunity, plays into Wilson, point blank range, but Bernd Leno there. Once again, we need to really start putting the ball to the side of the goalkeeper, because we've had loads of shots recently which are going straight at the goalkeeper and keeping out from point blank range. But it didn't take us too long to eventually take the lead in this one, and it is the man who'd have thought it, Jarrod Bowen, who smashes that one in across the goalkeeper to give us a 1-0 lead. And obviously we know how difficult it's been keeping our leads this season, but fortunately for us we actually took a 2-0 lead. Diouf down that left hand side, plays it in, and it's Jarrod Bowen there once again just to steer it in over Bernd Leno and give us a 2-0 lead with just half an hour left of the game. But like I say, we think back to the Tottenham game early in the season, we think back to the Manchester United game, the Brighton game. We have given away some really good opportunities to either win games or draw games this season, so we didn't want to be complacent in this one, and we wanted to keep attacking but also keep that defensive solidity. And it's Wilson who got a chance there, but unfortunately saved by the goalkeeper. And then just after that, it's a good shot from Muniz, really powerful to be fair, a little bit lucky to fall to him after that play down the right hand side by Traore. But Muniz does bring Fulham back to a 2-1 loss at this stage, and again we started to get squeaky at this point because we know how easy it is to give up that extra goal and be back to square one at 2-2. And we decided to make a change again. It's just to bring a little bit of injection of freshness in. Matheus Fernandes coming in for Lucas Paqueta, and we did also bring Fulkrug in for Callum Wilson, and it is that man Niclas Fulkrug gets above his defender really well, gets the header, keeps it down low, and it's in off the bottom of the post to score our 3rd of the game and Fulkrug's 5th of the season. And as I say, Bowen's obviously our main striker at the minute, he's playing really well. Callum Wilson's scoring goals whenever we need him, and it's good to see that Fulkrug's popping up with goals when he comes in as well. So a bit of a direct competition between Fulkrug and Wilson at the minute to partner Jarrod Bowen in there, but as long as they both keep firing, I am more than happy. And then Jarrod Bowen with a good opportunity to score his hat-trick there, but a good save from Bernd Leno, tip it around the post. And then James Ward-Prowse looks to play one low just to see out the game. We're in the last 9 seconds of the game, and it doesn't go to anyone unfortunately, but luckily for us that is the end of the game, and we do finally, after however long it's been, get a win in this season, and we do win this game 3-1. Obviously you have a freak result of a 3-1 win against Arsenal earlier in the season. We've been winning in the Carabao Cup, but this result against Fulham could be a massive turning point. And obviously Igor Julio's happy, he got his game that he was asking for, and he's absolutely buzzing. It actually, for the first time in a long time, it lifts us off the bottom of the table, only up to 19th of Italy and only by a point, and Burnley obviously with a game in hand, but we'll definitely take that. And we did get confirmation of our Carabao Cup semi-final opponents being Nottingham Forest and the other game being Tottenham versus Brentford, so we'll look forward to that one on January 14th. And then the final action of this episode is we did decide to accept a short-term loan offer for Ollie Scholes from Stuttgart in Germany, so we'll see how that one progresses and if that one does go through or not. But that is going to bring this episode to an end. As always, please comment any suggestions down below, especially transfer suggestions coming into January. Please like the video if you have enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel to follow this journey, should I say. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.